Hey everybody, and welcome back to more Quern. We are at this crazy sound puzzle here, and just to reiterate what we're doing, I'm just going to go back over here. This line graph is basically showing us what the different tones are that we need to play, and each of the lines on the staff corresponds to one of the jars, or one of the tones. So if we were to label them with 1 being the bottom and 6 being the top, we would need to play 3, 5, 1, 6, 2. Of course, we're going to need to figure out what these tones are in relation to each other and ultimately which one we're not going to use. Now, I actually labeled all of these by a name, each of the jars that is, in my notes. I don't actually remember which was which though. The names I used were Fat One, Bottleneck, Pear Jar, Hourglass, Beaker, and Cylinder. And that was apparently the order from low to high. I think this one could be Hourglass. This one I think is Cylinder. I don't know what this one is. This one is almost certainly the Beaker. This one I think is the Pear. And I think this is the Fat one, which means this is the Bottleneck one. I suppose we could try this out. So let's just put some random ones on here, just to see what happens. Oops, hang on. That's not a jar, this is a jar. And this one. Alright, let's see what we got. So this puts Beaker, no, that's not the Beaker, that's Bottleneck. And then, I'm calling this the Cylinder, because it's the closest to a cylinder. Hourglass, Beaker, and then Pear. So the Fat one is not in here. So let's see what we got here. It's kind of a little bit difficult to tell what some of these are, and I especially can't tell very well right now with the sound setup I've got on because I can't really plug in headphones. And to make this more interesting, when I first played the game, my sound was all wonky, so a lot of what I was hearing was not really the wind that was blowing through, but just kind of some of the other noise that was going along with it, so it was a little bit tricky. But from what we could tell, it seemed like the Cylinder produced the highest amount with like a pretty high F, and then the Beaker produced the second highest with a D. And I think this one was the third highest or so, followed by this one, and then finally the first one. I think it was the lowest one. Yeah. Yeah, so this one's just slightly higher than this one, which is ultimately higher than the first one. And then the Beaker and then the Cylinder ones are the two that seem to be the highest. So let's see what the other one is, the Fat one. I'm gonna... Oh, I can't do it from there. Okay. Let's see what this sounds like. Oh, that's even lower. I should have probably just turned the sound off for this part of the game. But anyway, no harm done. I think we've got the order here. So if the first one is supposed to be the third one, then that's going to be the Pear, which is this. Let's put that there. And then the second one is going to be the fifth the fifth lowest, or the second highest, which is the Beaker, which is there. The third one's the very lowest, which is the Fat one. The fourth one is the very highest, which is the Cylinder. And then finally the fifth one is the second lowest, which is the Bottleneck one. Okay. Alright, we made it. Oh, we can't actually take these with us. Alright. Well, we probably don't need them for anything else. We still have this one, though. So what's over here? Gardens. Okay. Yeah, a nice view of the Alchemy lab. It looks like there's something on top of the lab, which is interesting. And some device. What does this do? I hear something flowing, like water. Does that water the plants or something? It looks like there's sprinklers here that come through the hose, and that hose seems to be connected over here, so that would make the most sense. There's also this cabinet here which has another symbol on it. Don't know what that is, though. A pot, or two pots. We can open this up, though. Ooh. That should come in handy. And a piece of paper that we can't actually look at. Alright. I want to try that again and see if we can see something this time. Alright, so it does water the plants. That's kind of a little bit of a shame, though. It's watering them, but there doesn't really seem to be any growth happening here. These plants look very dead, if anything. These ones look a little bit different. Looks like they're supposed to be flowers or something here. Ooh, there is a cylinder of some sort. Oh, okay. So it looks like this thing is teaching us how to create a mixture that will take the dead plants to alive plants. So that should come in handy. And then we've got something over here, another cabinet thing. Something that was marked out with red ink, and then some plants that have names. Painting here. It's like Professor Maythorn was painting that island over there. And a contraption that grinds, I guess, whatever you put in there. And then there's something here that seems to be connected to this. And then that's connected down over here. Alright, let's see what the professor has to say about this.
I often visited these gardens to relax and to admire the beauty of nature. The Dalmarians already separated and named all of the native herbs. I decided to keep their original names. You're probably wondering why all of these plants are dry, considering the unique attributes of the island. The truth is, they cannot wither naturally here, so I had to weaken them myself. It was necessary in order to force you to follow the path I've laid out for you. To be able to proceed, it is essential to find a way to revitalize these herbs. There's no reason to be worried. Just barely, but they are alive.
The more I hear about this professor guy, the more I'm not exactly a big fan of what he's doing here. Ooh, we got a key. I wonder if that's for that chest thing up by the hanging platform. Of course, we really can't go back and look right now because we're trapped over here. And alongside that, we also saw here in the letters the symbols, which look a lot like the symbols on that 5x5 grid thing that we were using toward the beginning. Okay, so it looks like we're supposed to put maybe a vial or something in here. We don't have that, do we? Oh no, we do have that. It's all filled up right now, though. But we can put a... Wait, is it filled up? Oh, I guess it empties out if you put it there. That's kind of interesting. It makes sense, though, if you're supposed to do something with that. But we need to have something to crush here, and nothing that we've got in our inventory seems to fit that bill. I don't think we can crush the torch, can we? Oh, well, wait a minute. Oh. So it seems that we've found a guide for how to make those colored liquids over there in the alchemy lab using what seems to be the plants over here. At least these names seem to line up with what we saw over there. Ah, clever. Alright, let's turn this off for now. I don't really know why we would need that yet. Let's just look at this real quick. So we need 2 of this, and then 1 orange, 2 red, 1 purple, 2 blue. Okay. So we saw earlier over here that there's this area that we could put something in. And I'm going to make the prediction that we need to put in the compound that we create that will help make the plants grow. Makes the most sense, at least. I just need to figure out how to get all the sludge out of here. That's the thing. Let's put this over there. I know there's a way to do that. I'm just trying to figure out what it was. Maybe you actually have to... It seems like there's supposed to be like a fire going there for this cauldron to work. So maybe you actually have to do that before you can do anything else. Oh, wait a minute. The key could be for this door. I just realized that. We may not be trapped here after all. Let's try that out. Aha! Alright. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and head back, because I think there's something we need that's back in the crystal lab. One thing I don't know about is what would happen if you didn't have this part of the platform down. That is something that I've been kind of curious about. I haven't tested that out yet, though. Because there is no other way back here, so if you don't have that down, that's pretty much GG. Alright, so the one lead we had back here was to use this thing. So the order was the anchor looking thing, which is that. And then that thing that looked like an eyeball. Where is that? Is that this one? I think it's this one. And then we had the upside down T with the circle in it, which is this. And I forgot the other two. This one, and it kind of looks like a weapon of some sort. Where's that fourth one? There it is. And then this. Ooh, alright. I wasn't really expecting this to open up with that. I was actually thinking that this would be something we would have to activate with a light or something. Like maybe the metal would have received that. But no, it's actually a puzzle that you solve way over there, which is pretty cool. So let's see what we do. Oh, okay. So this is one of those, one of these kind of puzzles. There we go. I really did not have a solution for that in front of me, by the way. That was just total guesswork. Alright, so what do we have in here? This is different. We have a red crystal. What is this? Ooh. Hey, now that looks rather familiar, doesn't it? We've seen that design in at least a couple places. The oven there in the North Shore area, and we also saw it in the Alchemy lab by the cauldron. And considering that we're looking for fire, or at least something that could make fire, this looks like it might help if this red crystal was what was responsible for burning this. So I don't think the orange crystal does it, since it's just laying there. So let's give it a shot. We at least have something that can plug in to the cauldron. I love jumping from high distances in this game. Don't ask me why, I just like it. This is not the right way. It's this way? This way. Alright. Hopefully we can power this up with this. There we go. Alright. There we go. Now all the sludge is draining out. Okay, so I think we've gotten everything we need to set this thing up so we can mix our concoctions in here. So the first order of business is we need to get 2 of this stuff. Let's get our vial in here. And then we can put it in here. We still haven't seen any sign of this, whatever is watching the professor. Hopefully it's nothing, or no one dangerous. So now we need 1 of orange and 2 of red. So let's get the spoon here. This is going to be a very interestingly colored mixture after we put all this stuff in there. This is probably going to look a little bit dizzying going back and forth like this. And I apologize in advance. Alright, and then we've got... what do we have next? 1 purple and 2 blue. Alright. Purple. So apparently this is going to be the stuff that will ultimately help the plant to grow. So that'll be cool to see. Alright, and 1 more blue. Ought to do. That totally rhymed. There we go. So let's see if we can get this stuff in the jar. Is there a way we can do that? There we go. Alright. We've got our plant growth, miracle grow stuff here. Okay. The game's being saved, so that's a good sign. I'm going to try to turn this and run in there as fast as I can so I can watch everything. That was very quick. Alright. These things are already looking healthy. These are too. Not quite as bright as the flowers over here, but they still do look great. Alright, so now that we've gotten that done, the next thing I suppose is to figure out what we need to make with this stuff. So we saw some mixtures over, over here that we can use to create the liquids. It's the blue torch. And what's interesting about this is that one of these happens to be the mixture, this one right here, that we would need to create to make the liquid that's not in the container back here in the alchemy lab. But why would we want to make that? Well, as it turns out, there's actually something over here that we can't really pick up that references this, and that's this. It actually requires all 4 of the things right here, as well as the other 3 of the powders. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to create that mixture so that we could supply the cauldron with it. And then we can add these other ones in there, create this, and then we could, presumably, if this is what causes the crystal to melt, we can then pour it on that crystal back near the watchtower and gain access to the cabinet over there. But I think we're going to go and do that next time, because we've done enough mixing in this one for now, and this is going to take a little while, so I don't want to spend even more time than we need to at this point on this. So until then, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the progress we've made today. I'm certainly liking this part of the game a lot, and that rock looks kind of weird out there. Oh well. Anyway, we will pick up with this next time, so until then, take care, and I will catch you on the flip side.